Welcome to JED's Journal Podcast from the JED TV studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest in Hammond, Indiana. Now here's your host, Jim Dedelow.
I went last night to see John Fogerty and ran into a multitude of people along Wolf Lake. It was just a beautiful evening, and I would say it was a complete success. Now let's hear what Hammond Mayor Tom Mcdermott. How you been, man?
Good. Morning. I'm tired.
You know what? I saw you on the stage yesterday, and a couple, people look at our calendar online, and they go, I saw on the calendar, McDermott's supposed to come on tomorrow. Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't sleep very well anyway. Like, when the sun comes up, it doesn't matter what time I go to bed. When the sun comes up, I wake up. So, like, as soon as in the summertime, I'm up at 5 o'clock usually, no matter what time I go to sleep. So it's no big deal. Last time you scheduled, I forgot. I'm not used to having really early appointments. I usually do my mornings pretty late, and then I get busy in the afternoon. So,
hey, dude, we're a block and a half from your house, okay?
I drove
you
here.
can walk over here.
I
you have never, how many times have we done a show here? You have never walked here.
It's around the block. It takes me like
it is. It's. I mean, literally, you could. It might be quicker.
I think I'm probably your closest listener, for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Hey, it is Festival of Lakes. Let's just hit last night.
Yeah.
I was
a little
you love
bit... Fogerty, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
You and I went to a concert together.
Yes, but your wife didn't recall it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you, me, and Alexis and Marissa went. Yes. I usually am the one with the bad memory.
Yeah, I forgot about it, too.
We went to Horseshoe.
Yeah, and Alexis like, oh yeah, we went with the McDermotts to the see Fogerty at Horseshoe. I'm like,
it was a great show.
So
at the time I was very impressed with him. He was so awesome in concert, and he did it again last night.
He did it. Now I was a little worried. I go, I saw Mick Jagger a few years ago, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. He's kind of running out of gas, but Fogerty stayed within the things that he needed to get done, but he kind of let his sons take over at times.
They were great musicians. It was the Sons are the band, and they're great. And then Fogerty still sounds great, so it worked.
He's 80 years old, and he could still belt them out, man.
Yeah.
He did a really good, not a massive center field, song center field.
That was fun.
And he just knocked it, man.
Yeah. Plus, he had the video screen going, which was nice. He was playing the video as well. It was cool.
It was well timed.
And Wednesday, we had 10,000 at least there. It was great. It was a great show
for a Wednesday. That was a big number, right?
We had a big Wednesday a few years ago. It was Darius Rucker. That was the biggest Wednesday we've ever had, and that was last night was the second biggest. So
I got to say that I knew that it was really crowded because we waited 40 minutes to go to our car and leave. And then still going south on Calumet, it was car after car.
Did they do one way? Because we've been working on one way out. Did they have two ways out or one way out?
If I told you that I paid attention at 11:30 at night, I would be lying.
It's rough getting out of there at night. And then what we did is we made it like when you go to Chicago and they make two-way streets one way. We do it just to get people out of the venue. I'm pretty sure that's the way they worked it.
Oh, you know what? It was. Yeah. It was. Now that I remember, because my wife's like, "Hey, watch out," and I'm like, "Watch out! I don't see any cars coming on the other side." She goes, "No, they're coming from the other way." All right, so it was.
Yeah.
But
depending on where you get out, you'll either go north or south. You have no choice, and then we just get you away from the venue, and then you could. Correct at that point.
You can also tell how many people, because I'm like, Alexis like, give me a couple White Castles, will you? Mm-hmm. Packed.
Oh yeah.
Packed at the Calumet in Chicago. And then I'm like, all right, we do go into White Castle and sit there for a minute. And I'm like, brave. I'm not waiting. Yeah. Remember the time we went to White Castle and waited about an hour?
That was after a dead show.
It was after a dead show. And I'm like, why are we doing this?
It was ridiculous. We drove out of our way, and then it was like an hour stop, and it was like in the middle of the night. Yeah, I remember that very well. It was, if I remember, it was your cousin that led us on that little Mike Forright, Dr. Mike.
Yes. Yeah, he's
the one that got us in that.
He had this like nugget of like motivation in his brain.
A nugget of motivation.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
2 a.m.
He's like, I want White Castle, puts it in. I'm like, dude, that's the other way. We'll be halfway home by the time. No,
literally.
I need a White Castle. Literally, we were in the drive-thru so long that I got out and sat in the, in the park.
It was like an hour long.
It was just but it was like a nice night.
1 a.m. We still had to drive from Indianapolis back home. Yeah.
Remember that one judge that got late at night, like in a strip club / White Castle.
Yeah, Marissa was at that conference.
Yes,
so was Alexis.
Yeah, it was like
I was like, what the heck are you guys doing at these conferences? Going to strip clubs in the middle of the night.
But it was a White Castle adjacent to it.
Right,
and it was like, I was like, great, we're going to...
And they're like, we weren't at the strip club.
We were not
at
at the strip club. We were at White Castle.
Judges don't go to strip clubs. They go to White Castle.
Exactly. You have, let's go through the... ostensibly we're here to promote a little bit, and let's talk about your lineup. Tonight is Brantley Gilbert. What do you know about him? Nothing. I knew it.
I'm not a country guy.
I know. But
I know that I have a country. We have a cruise that look at each night, and my country experts are very excited about him. I can tell you that. I'm actually pretty good with music, but I'm not a country person, so...
I know he's from Georgia, and I went down to stay at Lake Martin in Alabama, and somehow his name came up. Oh, Brantley Gilbert's got a place. And I'm like, who's Brantley Gilbert? Yeah. And so he's a southern nice country rocker, and I know a couple of people like calling here, hey, dude, Brantley Gilbert tickets or whatever. And I'm like, I do not have any left, but why is that so much in demand? I think his Bottoms Up song, he did that like 10 years ago.
And he's all tatted up. I know that. I've seen his picture, his chest picture, like 5,000 times over the last
it's all around the city.
I know. He's like completely tatted up, his whole chest.
So it makes you wonder, where is he going to work out? Because you know that these guys come in, and many of them want to work out. I got to believe I'm going to go over to the Y later, and they're going to have it roped off for Brantley Gilbert. But
by the way, when the bands come in, the biggest thing they want to do is golf at the marsh. Every once in a while, they go out on Wolf Lake because we give them like lakefront property now. The bands, they have like a little area where they get set up on Wolf Lake and just chill out, and nobody can get there except for them. It's pretty cool how we set it up. So they always want to do something. They'll go to Lake Michigan. They go play golf a lot. That's the Lost Marsh is usually where they want to go. So.
Really? Yeah. I guess you don't think of some of these big names as being golfers.
Especially the country guys. Those guys love the Lost Marsh. It's funny, man. I'm not stereotyping, but it seems like the country acts always want to golf at the marsh. I mean, we open the city up for them. They do whatever they want, so.
I haven't played the marsh this year, but I heard it was looking really good.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to get this out of the way about the parking. So say you're coming from the south, and many of the people that are listening will come from the south. And so they'll come up Calumet Avenue, let's say, and they get to the corner of 129th, and they have a choice. They can either go right to the
$20 parking.
$20 parking, which is at Lost Marsh, right?
Right. It's on 129th Street. It's literally, we shut the whole street down for the event. You'll park, and then when you leave, you'll just drive straight ahead. We make it so that you'll leave east on 129th. You have no option to go back, so you'll leave towards the boulevard. That's because we're doing one-way exits.
So you close 129th?
During the festival,
it's like big road.
Yeah, but you can get around it. I mean, you just go to the boulevard if they live over there.
No, I mean, it's like wide.
Yeah, no, it's so like you park on each side. So you'll pull in and you'll pull on one side or on the other side on angle parking. And then when you're done, you back out and just drive straight.
All right, that's my new... Because
$20 and shuttles are frequent, too.
Shuttles are frequent, but I noticed a lot of people getting crossed by a crossing guard. Yeah. They walk from their cars. I mean, you could take the shuttle or you could walk in.
The only thing you should be wary of if you're in the $20 lot is late rainstorms. If there's a late rainstorm in the forecast, pay the extra money and get closer. Because I've seen people get stranded, man. It's pretty rough. Like, they'll be soaked to the bone. Because we'll get some drenching storms out there. It's good to have your car close in that regard. So
if you're coming from the south and you want to go and pay the $40, you would hang a left, and it was real easy. You got to
go through the roundabout. You go through the park. Yeah, and they'll put you as close as depending on the circumstances.
We came out, and like I said, we waited a while, and it was still a ton of people coming out, but at least it moved. And coming out of the parking lot that's on the grounds was pretty easy. All the Hammond firemen were there and pushing you out. They want you out too. I mean, they get it out. And if you want to come from the other way, you want to come from Whiting or the east side, you would.
You have options, but those lots fill up quick. I don't think we're parking in Forsyth Park this year, but on a big show we would park in Forsyth Park as well. But usually you'd come down to 129th the same way, flip around and then get into the park that way. But they do have parking options, like private parking options up there. up off of 121st and in that area over there. No, not. Yeah, 121st.
Yeah, there are. I saw some signs for that. I do want to mention that if you want to not have to worry about paying and having cash and all that stuff, you can buy the parking pass online. Just go to festivallakes.com and go to the very bottom. Hit parking passes. It'll be at the bottom. And if you buy it online, the festival grounds parking, I think you save $5.
Yeah.
And then you save $2.50 if you buy it's $17.50 if you buy it online. Third Eye Blind on Saturday. What do you know about them?
They have probably a dozen hits that you know right off the top of your head. It's one of those bands where you don't know you know them until you hear their music, you know, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know they sang that. That's one of those bands. So that's a hits night. It's a good Saturday night band. It'll be a mixed crowd of, you know, men and women, and it'll be probably my demographic and maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, our demographic, and it'll be a packed night. It'll be fun. That's a great band, and looking forward to Saturday. Fridays, we could tell already, Friday's going to be very energetic. It's going to be a young show. Akon's a high energy act. It's going to be packed. That's night. And then Sunday, I think that's going to be our biggest night. Our Arrolladora is a big time act out of Mexico.
We're going to ask Adriana, the producer, to pronounce the band on Sunday.
Arrolladora.
All right, would you please?
Yeah, you got it. La Arrolladora Banda El Limón de René Camacho. That's the main act.
Yeah. And who's with him?
The opener is Mariachi Eresina de Mexico and Los Yalmos de Chicago.
And they're La Arrolladora, that's a real big band, right?
Yeah, when we all saw the lineup for Festival Lakes, we were like, oh, we got big grupos this year. We're all excited, and I know the opener is very well known around this area because I've had some friends say that they've gotten this grupo for like events that they've done. So they're we're all very excited to go.
Thank you.
For Banda Night.
Eileen Ibarra, the one who runs the Festival of the Lakes, she mentioned the same thing about the band that she got for the opener. Mm-hmm. It's out of Chicago. They're really well. We always try to get an opener that's going to pull also. Like last year we pulled Local H in for an opener, and Local H they could headline on their own. So I know the local the opener for that night is supposed to be real big. So
you know, that Sunday night I've gone double dipped, but you also have the polka party. I think it's at 2:00 at the marina. Mm-hmm. A couple of years I've gone to the polka party with Tom Kyleman. And then have gone over with Kuziak to see the Hispanic band, and that is just an amazing trip. I won't double dip this year. I'll probably pick one or the other. I was thinking of taking a grandkid out to the marina and just going out to see the polkas. You knew Tom Kyleman for a long time. Yeah,
I was at the Visitation. I ran into Kuzer, but yeah, it was very sad. You know, I've lost 2 friends this week. Both of them way too young. So yeah, it's been rough. Jason Hawkins, one of our city employees, passed at 47.
Hold on a second. Jason Hawkins died?
Oh my God!
I did not know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to tell you on the air.
Well, thanks a lot.
He passed away last week, and it was tragedy. You know, we had the flags at half mast, and I literally went to his funeral yesterday, and I went to the Festival of Lakes. So yeah, it's been a rough week. Between Tom and him, like 2 young people going too early.
Hawkins, Mr. Hammond, and Tom Kyleman, kind of Mr. Hammond also. He was the governmental affairs guy at BP after being the town manager at Maryville, and he was always looking out for Hammond and for the local people, and quite frankly for union contractors and unions that would be in BP. There's always a struggle of union versus non-union contractors doing all the work, and you know, Kyleman was open about, you know, where his loyalties were.
It was very sad.
So what else outside of this, which we're promoting heavily? Thank you for putting our sign so prominently, and everybody's like, dude,
Last night, Tom Fogarty, you were the first sponsor I mentioned.
Yes, and you called us out in front of thousands of people, and we had a big sign there. We're proud to be, you know, do what we can to push people out there.
It's all about advertising. You guys help us a lot.
So,
appreciate it.
You know, from where you started to now with this festival, you know, how's it migrated?
What's crazy is every year I see a lot of the same people that come to every night. If they literally plan their year around Festival of the Lakes, that makes me happy. And I was mentioning also, I notice now we have like a built-in core every night of people. It's pretty cool. Like, I think if we had just a basic show, I'd have 2,000-3,000 people show up just because they go to every night at the Festival of the Lakes, which is pretty cool. So we're almost guaranteed decent crowds every night because now people have just become accustomed to going to the Festival of the Lakes. And they'll hang out in the free area. A lot of people walk there from Robertsdale or Whiting. It's like we're not making a penny off of them. They come there, they watch a band like John Fogerty, and then they walk home. It's awesome. I mean, that's quality of life. So, and then I know a lot of people talk about the finances of the fest, and it's like, listen, our goal is to break even. We don't want to make a lot of money, okay? I mean, I'm not opposed to making money, but we do lose money sometimes. And when we do, I chalk it up. Like, there's going to be 100,000 people that visit that park this week. So if it costs Hammond, let's say it costs us $100,000 upside down, right? Granted, we could have charged more, but if we look at it costs us $1 for every person that walked in the park that week, I think that's worth it for Hammond. That's where I sit anyway. So I love the fest, and I know a lot of people do, but of course the fest has its critics too. I get it.
I mean, all festivals have their critics, and I've talked about. I had Greg Manson here the other day promoting the Griffith Blues and Barbecue Fest.
When's that going?
And that was last weekend.
Oh,
yeah, that was. They do
the railroad.
They do the railroad one later.
Right.
And we had an interesting. He was a former police chief, obviously, but he opened up his own security firm, and we talked about how do you keep these things safe. And we went through the fencing and how many entrances and exits they have. Certainly Festival of Lakes has gone with that, but he said ultimately you just have to have people that are out there, and especially policemen and firemen, and you got to have a few people that just mix into the crowd as undercovers to see what's going on. But I got to say, I got to give it to the Hammond police. Now my wife knew a bunch of them, but I'm like, dude, when did Hammond and some of the surrounding communities, other police were there, get so many young people? Where did that happen? I mean, you were having trouble getting people, and then all of a sudden,
funny, Jim, when we gave the raises, we all of a sudden all of our problems went away.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we stopped losing officers. Now when we advertise, we're one of the higher paid departments again, so we're pulling again. So like, I haven't lost an officer since we've done the new contract, and we were hemorrhaging officers before that contract was done. So I mean, that's good, And I want to also send out props. You're talking about safety at the fests. The Lake County Sheriff sent his mobile crime unit at the festival grounds, and it's literally gives us, in that mobile crime unit, the sheriff's got officers placed in there, and you could see almost every nook and cranny of the entire festival from that mobile unit. So we have having police officers on the ground. We have the sheriff securing us with electronics. We've jammed everything for drones so that only our drones could go up in the air now. And we have to start thinking that way, because you see what's going on overseas right now with drone warfare. That's going to come back to America eventually. And then when you have 20,000 people watching a concert, you got to think about that kind of stuff. So we brainstorm on things that could go wrong. We have garbage trucks parked strategically. We have limited access, so you can't get big vehicles in. You have to think paranoid when you have 20,000 people visiting.
You also have to think who you're going to give that microphone to.
Yeah.
Remember we had a newswoman here. This was 20 years ago.
We've had incidents like that.
She, I'm like, hey, can you go there? They're going to ask you to say a few words. She takes the microphone at Festival of Lakes. I think it had a different name then.
Yeah. I remember something about this.
Yeah, and then she takes it and she's like, she was heavily Republican, and she's like, well, Indiana's a great state, and, you should vote Republican, and blah, blah, blah. And you called me and lit me up, like, I can't believe she made a political statement, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I notice now that you basically take the microphone.
You know what's funny? Depending on the act, there's not a lot of mic time anymore, because the acts are tough, man. Like John Fogerty, they were a little tough to deal with, and I'm not trying to be a Did I say that? Is that?
Hey, wait a second. We have
the board for 5 seconds.
Did you?
Why did that come out?
Oh my goodness.
Proceed.
Adriana.
Did I say jerk?
Adriana will re-edit that for. We'll try to play it over. We'll try to play it over and over today.
I'm not trying to be a jerk when I talk about Fogarty, but Fogarty, their crew they're professionals, man, and they don't want to like so. They're pretty tough on us, and it doesn't leave a lot of time for mic time. So I get out there. My whole goal is just to introduce the sponsors, like you guys. I went through the whole sponsor list. I'm like, thank them. We couldn't have this without our sponsors. Take care, everybody. And we're doing a lot of T-shirts, but not a lot of mic time, depending on the act. So like tonight with Brantley Gilbert, he could be cooler because he's younger. Usually, the longer they've been around, the tougher it is to deal with. And Fogarty's a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, so you got to play the game.
A lot of times it's not even the actual star. I mean, they have handlers that want to make sure they don't want any problems.
Exactly.
And I know
the handlers are the ones that are tough to deal with.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like you having a chief of staff. They're really nice people until you put them into a chief of staff role and they got to be a jerk, not the word that you said.
So last night, Fogarty's guy, the Fogarty's kids were awesome. The band was awesome. Fogarty was great, although he didn't talk to many people. He's very reclusive. But the tour manager was tough to deal with. He was very strict and very demanding. It was like, but we played the game, man, because we couldn't get Fogarty if we don't play the game.
I just got there, and I'm walking the back, and, let's be straight, I hadn't been seen, and a lot of people were coming up and said, hey, listen, I never recall, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I told Alexis, I go, everybody that comes up, they get 3 minutes. And she's like, what the hell? You didn't even get in.
That's a long time.
So finally I get in, after half an hour.
3 minutes a long time.
And I want everybody. And that's from Dan McNeil.
No, that's hard, man.
Dan McNeil is a tough, socially guy. And he pulled me aside one time. He can be gruff out socially. But he told me one thing. He goes, me and you, Jed, we'll, kind of rip on each other and call each other names, openly and stuff. But when I'm hearing that, people that listen and watch the show, they come up and they want to talk to you and whatever, and you're just kind of a jerk and you brush them off.
Really?
And I'm like, and I go like this. I go, now wait a second. When I'm getting social direction from Dan McNeil, I need to change my way. And he goes, I give everybody 2 to 3 minutes. And I go, all right, from now on, everybody that comes up to talk to me, that's it.
But
it doesn't matter who you are. It's very rough.
Yeah, there's 20,000 people, and a lot of them recognize you. And if you gave everybody 2 to 3 minutes, you're not even.
That's my wife was like, I thought we were here to dance. So then we went over in the far corner with the Kuziaks, and Kuziak likes to run a little interference because he'll talk to anybody, even during a solo for Creedence Clearwater. Kuziak's talking to everybody coming by. I'm like, shut up. We're watching this.
I know.
Mayor, let's just take a couple quick phone calls.
By the way, we didn't even talk about the explosion that we had yesterday.
All right, we need to hit that. Let's do that right now.
It was a minor. I know it looked serious, but like we all saw the fire. We all were responding to the fire. What happened was the storm came through, and it was a 60-mile-an-hour gust of wind. It just, if you weren't secured, they found out when that gust of wind came through, one of the tents wasn't secure, and it fell onto a hot frying pan, and it went into flames. So not that serious of a situation, but close proximity to that was a cylinder, propane cylinder. That was a big situation. So we were watching the fire, and we were like, oh, man. It was embarrassing because John Fogarty was playing sound check. And we're like, there's a fire over there. And I'm calling him like, get over there. And everybody runs over there. And we're just sitting on the stage watching it, Fogarty, all of us. And I'm like I was saying, their tour manager is being tough. So the tour manager's watching it. And then that explosion happened. We were like, ugh. And they look at me and they're like, is that normal? I'm like, that is not normal. I don't know what the heck is going on now. So it was a little embarrassing. But thankfully, we weren't open yet. Nobody got injured. So.
Can you send that clip to Andrew for the news about because a number of people asked me about it. Can you single on him for a second? And
the lighting is not good. That's what I was going to. That's what it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Put it on him anyways, because what we need to.
I have the clip.
You have the clip?
Oh, do you?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw there was a guy going down Calumet, right?
Yeah, and he's got the clip of the
that was
fire.
A big fireball.
So what time was that at?
I was on the stage. That was sound check was probably like 3:30. No, I gave the speech to the employees at 3:30. That was before that. I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that.
So Fogarty himself is on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Doing his,
he saw the explosion.
And saw the explosion.
He was probably like looking at us like, what the hell am I working with here? What are we stuff exploding in the background?
Because a bunch of people asked me, they're like, don't you know about this or whatever? And
You know what's funny, Jim, is like I'm naive a lot of times, so that happened, and I'm like, because it was scary looking, but it was like we knew we had it down quick, right? So I'm like, this is no big deal. And then somebody comes up to me and like, that explosion's it's viral on social media right now. Here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was a big fireball. That's a propane tank. That's what it looks like when it goes up.
Do you know what that looks like? I remember during the flood of 2008, I was driving down Monroe, and right in front of me, the house blew up, and it was like a nuclear explosion. Show that again, would you please?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
This, if you want
that's 150 feet in the air. Huge fireball.
Could you imagine being on the stage?
Dude, I was on the stage, and I didn't know it was that big. Could you imagine if we were open when that happened? That would have been really bad.
How did it happen again?
So the fire was going. We were all watching the fire. If you see, there's a lot of black smoke, right?
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting the explosion. We just saw the fire. It's black smoke in the air. It's like, okay, no big deal. Something's burning. Like something happened. There's hot girls over there, right?
It's the region, man. Things burn, you know.
Yeah,
we're
right.
like, how many tire fires have you seen in your life, right?
A couple.
Yeah,
that was.
But yeah, so we got it done. The Hammond Fire Department conveniently is located across the street. They were there within minutes, and we had it out. We had it all cleaned up by the time we opened. So, but I don't think that booth's happening this year. There was whoever was cooking at that area. They lost their frying pan, all that. Everything exploded. So,
take one phone call. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Hey, it's Mad Mac. How you boys doing? Good to see you boys back together again.
What are you talking about? We've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. But you had your little lovers quarrel.
Dude, I've known Jim for 25 years. You know people for 25 years and don't argue with them?
Yeah, but you hated him for like half of that time.
Me for half that time, too.
Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah.
We're getting along now. Shut up.
I know. So, hey, first of all, I'm going to do my best not to swear. Second of all, I'll tell you, you made one of your lifetime residents, you probably made his year.
I know who he's talking
sent
about.
Jimmy the picture of you buying breakfast for MX at the Big Wheel. He thought you dropped a Porsche off at his house.
Yeah, I saw MX yesterday.
Oh, is that what that was about? I didn't quite get it. I saw the
MX
picture.
was there, and he's like, "Are you proud of me, Mayor?" I was like, "I'm very proud of you, man." And I was like, and he was surprised I was being nice to him. I was surprised he was being nice to me. He's like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" I was like, "Yeah, man, let's take a picture." I mean, MX is one of my bosses.
It's on my phone.
I sent it on your phone, Doug.
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Honestly, Jim, I approach work like that. MX is one of my bosses. I may not like my boss all the time, but
you just have it on home.
So, if you guys don't know the story, tell the story why MX should need some commendation right now, huh?
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't listening, but from what I understand, during one of your morning shows the other day, during Dapperton's morning show, Trucker Mike called in and was having a medical incident. And from what I read, the WJOB audience basically helped him out, got emergency responders to him, and saved him, basically. And I know MX was a big part of that. I think Dave from Highland, DFH, was one of them, and I know Mr. Dapperton and his show.
Hey, Paul Goddard was kind of quarterbacking.
That's really cool. That's a cool thing for WJOB, and it's cool that I know the people that are involved, obviously, because I've been associated with you guys so long.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot of different ways, but they found him.
Trucker Mike calls WJOB when there's a problem. That's one thing I want to work on. It's like, we got 911. You could have called that, or you could have called Dapperton's morning show, and he went with morning show, and it worked, thankfully.
I think it was like he was calling, and then he kind of degraded, and the timing was, there was a full amount of phone calls like there is now, and it just so happened that he was first in line. He'd been waiting.
Wow.
So he had been waiting long enough that he started to feel bad and have an incident. But when they got over there, he was just walking around, and the EMTs are like, "Oh, dude, that's good thing you called him and got us here." And they gave him and he went in the hospital for a few days. I was sitting out there, and I was very proud how everybody came together.
Yeah, that's cool, Jim.
But I'm with the mayor. If you're having some trouble, don't wait online here. Yeah, don't call us.
Man, it was a busy day at WJOB.
Exactly. We're gonna have a hotline to 911. But so I just want to ask you to say one public policy question since we have here.
Please.
the legislature went through and they cut funding for every municipality, every city, town, that kind of thing. You can hang up on Mad Mac. We're done with that.
Hey, wait.
Yeah, goodbye. How's it going to affect you guys?
Oh, I mean, we're going to lose money. It's growth. We're going to lose growth. All right. And they're also giving cities and towns the ability to pass local taxes to make up for the loss that we're going to experience. And I imagine most of the local communities have no choice but to do that. I mean, what choice do you have? Lay off police and firemen? And I'm not trying to scare people. 2/3 of my budget is police and firemen. So if they cut $8 million out of Hammond's budget, that's going to affect police and fire, whether you like it or not. Now, what I'm saying is if they're cutting $8 million out of our budget, which is what they're talking about in Hammond, are they going to give us the ability to put $8 million back in? Because if that's the case, I'm going to protect police and fire. But what scares me is if they take $8 million out and they only give me the ability to put $4 million back in. So believe it or not, Jim, they don't even know what the numbers are to this day. They have no idea how it's going to affect us, but the law is passed already, so we're dealing with it.
So, you brought up the fact that you gave police raises. I didn't know that it had basically stopped the police drain.
It did.
If you guys follow it, I mean, for a while, Hammond was basically the training ground for many of the police that are in St. John and in, Winfield Township, Munster. I mean,
Munster got a few.
Munster took a bunch. And it was like, oh, hey, thanks for training them.
Yeah.
Because you get a person that's third or fourth year, you don't have to go through that area where they don't really sometimes know their full extent of the job. So now with that much less money, does that endanger the numbers that you can have?
But like I said, we're still working through, like, how much when they can finally say, okay, Mayor, this is how much you're going to lose. This is how much we could put back in. Believe it or not, Jim, they're still calculating the numbers. This is unbelievable. They passed this. They have no idea the impact it's going to have. But the good thing is it doesn't fully kick in until the 2028 budget year. So we do have time to get ready for it. Like this year's budget we're doing is not going to be affected hardly at all by this. And it's all growth. They don't cut it out of this year's budget. They limit the amount how much we can grow. And the thing that stinks about that is Hammond's growing like leaps and bounds right now. Like each year we're getting 5-6% new assessed value, and if they're going to start taking chunks out of that, it limits how much we could grow, which stinks because I like building things as mayor and I like growing. So
this is not popular.
No, I agree.
I have tonight. I'll have my cousin, who's actually a genetic half sister. Don't ask. And she's like full Republican downstate person, and she's like, this doesn't make any sense. You know why? She lives in Carmel or on the line of Carmel, and she's like, why are they doing this? I mean, these people are talking about cutting, 10% of the police. I mean, it's a beautiful city. Schools. And the schools are doing that.
It's insane.
So it's not popular at all. I got to say 2/3 of people are not,
I agree with you, Jim. I think obviously the Democrats are all upset, but we're always mad about something. But I think the Republicans are mad. I think there's Republican legislators, there's Republican mayors, there's Republicans that support public school system. I think they're mad at the governor too. I think the governor messed up big time. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do next year, Jim, because like I said, this doesn't kick in for a couple more years. I have a feeling because of all the heat that you're talking about and that I'm talking about, the governor hears it too. I have a feeling you're going to see some type of bill that minimizes it this year. And if it doesn't, then
he's getting some pressure within his own party.
Agree.
That Micah Beckwith was in here a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, they bring him into the other room, and they're like, hey, dude, Jed, you got to meet Micah Beckwith. And I'm like, yeah, I want to meet this guy because I'm pretty sure I've never read in the Indy Star anybody who was kind of more hated in their newspaper. And then he comes in, and he's like a military guy, and
he's a pastor.
Yeah, he's a pastor, and he was on a golf team in college, and we started talking golf. So I'm pretty sure I'm going golfing with Micah Beckwith.
That's awesome.
And I don't know anything about his.
What's interesting, man, is like it'd be like if Scott Miller was like writing op-eds against me. That's what's going on with him and the governor right now.
He's attacking his boss on these airways.
It's crazy.
Go back and listen to that Republican show from a couple weeks ago.
This is a bad idea, SB. It's just like all the stuff that the governor's pushing. It's like Micah Beth was sitting there at the lieutenant governor talking crap about him. It's bizarre.
Obviously, he wants to move up on the chain, and but what it reminded me, and you could take this how you you however you want, but this is the truth of how I feel. You know, you and I did the show for a long time, and you were a little more erratic at times.
I was definitely more immature.
You would say them like kind of really direct things, and you remember the conversation where, you know, Mayor, you're going to get me sued. You need to go take a podcast.
I got sued too.
Yeah, and then you got sued. That would have been me. And I'm
That's
like,
a nasty one too. I got my insurance dropped over it.
Exactly. And you know, my lawyer's like, you know,
it's not nasty because I'm going to lose. It's nasty that it's costing the insurance company a lot of money, and we're not going to lose. We're going to win that case, but they dropped me.
So Micah Beckwith comes in, and then I'm talking to him out there. I go, I know he's really hard right, and you're kind of left of center, I guess. Yeah. But it reminded me of the same thing. I mean, I'm talking to him socially. Yes, you know, a lot of things going down there, and he's just ripping on the governor to my face.
I know.
And I'm like,
you're mean.
This is. And then I read in the Indy Star where he says all these stuff about his own boss, and I'm like, that's McDermott stuff. That he just would say. He would just say anything.
I have a feeling because Micah Beckwith, I'm going to guess probably about 40, right?
Yeah,
he's a young guy.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
I have a feeling 10 years from now, he'll be like looking back on the stuff he's saying, and he'll be like, oh, because that's what I do now. I look back on and I think about the way I handled things when I first became mayor.
I could bring up some of the stuff.
Man, but like, you know, but like Jim, I could do the same thing about you. You were a freaking crazy young guy when you came in here too. Okay, so like everybody makes mistakes, especially when they're in their 30s and 40s, and if you have power, it's magnified. And I had power and I was young just like you did, and I made mistakes for sure, and I'm still around thankfully because I didn't lose my job over it, but like I definitely operate differently now. So I'm more mature about
we're
things.
Going through some of the archives right now because Facebook is making you get off of, you know, lose all your stuff or whatever, and we got a month reprieve before we download everything. And one of the guys that's doing it for me, he's like, oh, look at, he's playing stuff that you said, and he's like, dude, how come we're not playing this? I go, no, man, you know, it was
old stuff.
It was a different time, and you know, we don't need to, you know, embarrass it.
We had a freaking, I mean, our show was great.
And we argued.
Oh, I mean, you and I? That was the whole purpose of the show, because we didn't like each other, and we thought it would be a good show.
It kind of was. I was looking back on it. I'm just remembering my own emotions going, I can't believe I have to sit here and listen to this. And you're like, at the time, I can't believe this guy's got the media, and you know, I got to kowtow to him coming here. It was so if you remember
Hannity and Combs, remember?
Yeah.
And that was when Sean Hannity first started, and Hannity and Combs were like, they were like antagonistic towards each other.
And they really didn't like each other.
But at the time, you and I were like, dude, we could totally emulate this because we don't like each other, and we'll go on the show. And I remember I'd be sitting next to you, and we wouldn't even talk to each other between takes. It would be like doing commercials, and you and I would just sit there quietly because we didn't like each other. And then I think I started breaking into you. I started like wearing you down because I'm a charming guy, you know. And I wear on people after a while.
Look who's telling us we're done. We're done.
I said I'm a charming guy, and she cuts us off.
No, because we got another guest, and then we have a podcast that moved up earlier.
Okay.
That's
great.
why.
Thanks for inviting me in.
Hey, Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott, I want to just go through it. Tonight is Brantley Gilbert. It'll be country.
Yep.
Friday, Big Akon will be there with Crucial Conflict and Rick Gilla and a whole bunch of other people. Saturday night, Third Eye Blind. That might be the biggest name of here, other than maybe Fogarty. And then, say it again.
Sunday night is La Olladora Banda El Limón de René Camacho.
Yep, that's the one.
All right, guys. Mayor, thanks for coming in.
Man.
I know you were up late.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody. See you at the fest.
You've been listening to Jed's Journal podcast from the JED TV studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest in Hammond, Indiana. Thank you for listening.